I have walked through hospital corridors and I have seen young patients cry out in pain because of cancer. For 20 years working with Kite Foundation, I have sat and I have listened to parents struggle with emotions and wrestle with the thought of why. Why did the Lord choose their family to go through so much suffering? I have often heard them say, why didn't this suffering fall on corrupt government officials or murderers who are set free to roam on the streets? There is a lot to learn from the struggles of children and parents living with cancer and other chronic disease. And I am here today to share with you their stories. Jam Jam was born a healthy child. Her father, a military man, and her mother, who is a homemaker, were very happy to have a baby girl as their firstborn child. Life was normal until Jam Jam turned 2. She was diagnosed with cancer of the bone, and the cancer cells caused her head to deform. Her forehead started to grow larger than usual, and her eyes bulged. The once cute and healthy child was transforming into a monster in the eyes of the father. The father could no longer stand the sight of his daughter and the inconvenience of having to care for a sick child. And so, he left the mother and child to fend for themselves. I met Jam Jam and Mommy Remy when they were abandoned. When I would visit the hospital, Mommy Remy would greet me with a forced smile. I could tell from the dark circles around her eyes that she had been crying the whole night. Yet, despite the loneliness, Mommy Remy would cradle her deformed child in her arms and would tell her that even if everybody else forsakes Jam Jam because of how she looked, and even if she had to go through so much sacrifice to get her cured, she will never, ever abandon Jam Jam. True enough, I saw Mommy Remy carrying Jam Jam week after week to the hospital for chemotherapy. With the grace of God, Jam Jam survived. She now has a hearing impairment as a result of the illness. But what is more important is that Jam Jam is alive today. Mother and child embraced the pain, went through the struggle, and came out a winner. As I look back at the time when Mommy Remy was abandoned, I asked myself, what made her continue the fight? She could have given up, and yet she stayed the course. The answer lies in the image of Mommy Remy cradling Jam Jam. That image depicts Mommy Remy's commitment to love Jam Jam despite her looks and circumstance. It is her commitment to love which carried her through. Mommy Remy gave herself totally, and she was able to save Jam Jam's life. The Lord gave his life to save us. There will be times when we will feel forsaken or abandoned, just as the Lord felt in his final hours. But it was the Lord's love for us which made him go through the unbearable pain and die for our sins. Tularan natin ang Panginoon. Mahalin natin ang ating pamilya at ang kapwa ng buhos, lubos, at ubos. My next story is about 2 young men. I received a text message from my nephew Gabe, 12 years old, and he was inquiring about Kite patients. He said he had a project to do for school and that he wanted to visit Kite patients in the hospital. I arranged for him to visit the hospital the following Saturday. Little did I know that Gabe, days before Saturday, baked lemon cookies and sold them for 5 pesos each. As we were having a birthday dinner for my mother-in-law in their house, Gabe handed $1,345,000 and said that he wanted to give it to a kite patient. Saturday arrived and I went to the pediatric intensive care unit. I was told there was a young man, Oliver, who had a serious illness, probably cancer, and wanted to go home. The doctor informed me the child was experiencing unbearable pain. I went to the mother, Anuncia, and I asked if she had enough money to pay for the hospital bill. She shook her head and her eyes started to swell with tears. I asked Mommy Anuncia to come with me and we went to the medical social service. We asked the social worker what else we could do so Oliver could spend his last hours with his family. The social worker then wrote on the bill that the patient's counterpart was $1,000 and the rest of the bill could be charged to a senator's guarantee letter. I gave the remaining $340 for Oliver's transportation. In the admitting room, Mommy Anuncia held me and said, "Salamat. Salamat sa iyo sapagkat hindi ko alam kung saan ako makakakuha ng pera para makauwi ang anak ko." Gabe arrived at the hospital and I introduced him to Oliver. And I said that because of him, a dying patient was able to go home. A simple generosity affected one person's life tremendously. As I was hugging Anuncia, I said, "The Lord loved you very much. Father, Father, why have you forsaken me?" These could have been very well the thoughts running through Mommy Anuncia's mind. How could she bring her son home with 300 pesos? As I reflect on what happened, I confirm that truly God works in mysterious ways. He manifests himself in our darkest hours. Who would have thought that a 12-year-old young man would be able to help a dying 17-year-old patient? They did not even know each other until that one fateful Saturday. It is those times when you feel forsaken, when you're on your knees and head bowed down in despair, when the Lord manifests His love. All He asks is that you look up, reach out, and take the hand of the Lord's messenger of hope.